All right, everybody, we are live. Welcome to this week's edition of Fights Unwrapped. Joined by my co-host Dustin today. Alec is busy doing work stuff, so he couldn't make today's show, but that's okay. We have UFC Long Island to talk about, as well as some UFC headlines that we're going to get into. But before we do that, we got to start with our sponsors real quick. What's called RxHemp.com for anyone who has any joint problems. CBD creams are the way to go, and RxHemp.com has premium products. Please use the promo code RxHemp-USN and you can get 10% off your entire order. As well as anyone who is a huge bettor, you can go to mybookie.ag and use the promo code USN100 for 100% sign up bonus today. So if anyone's betting on this week's card, you can do so by signing up today at mybookie.ag and using the promo code USN100. Okay, so today's show is going to be a short one because we have other shows lined up for Unwrapped Sports today. My Backstop Banter is coming up at 9 Eastern, so if anyone wants to tune into that, you can as well. But we're going to start with our first headline, which is Fiziev wants to face Justin Gaethje. Now, if anyone does not know the rankings right now, Rafael Fiziev just beat RDA in his fight night that just passed, and he is ranked number 8, I believe, and Justin Gaethje is ranked number 3 in the lightweight rankings. So, Dustin, I'm going to throw it to you first. What do you think about this whole match between Rafael Fiziev versus Gaethje? Do you think that's the right match to make? Do you want to see that match? Do you think Fiziev should be facing someone else, or Gaethje should be facing someone else?
Lightweight division, it's going to be kind of weird because Dustin Poirier, we don't know what he's going to do. Mike Chandler's trying to bait fights with a few people, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to Chandler. The only thing with Justin G is that's more of a risk than a reward for him. Because I mean, beating the number 8 guy, it's whatever. But I think Islam's going to be going for the title if he beats Dariush. I mean, to be real, like the top 10 right now, it's really busy. So if Sia was gonna get a shot, it would be right now.
Yeah.
Gaethje.
Yeah, no, it makes sense because you're right. Like, I think Michael Chandler and Dustin Poirier might be a thing. Obviously, one of our headlines coming up is who is Charles Oliveira going to be facing next, and as well as Dariush and Islam, like you said, they're going to be facing each other, and probably gonna get the winner of that's probably going to get the title shot next. So we'll see what happens, but. I like the matchup personally. I think that Fiziev produces a problem for someone like Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje just hasn't been like as sharp as he used to be. I feel like he's still like his match against Chandler was epic, but I still think that like without using his wrestling, he is not as well rounded as I would like him to be, in my opinion. Even though I think he's obviously a really good fighter. What do you think about Justin Gaethje? Do you think he's overrated? Do you think that he is what's called worthy to be in the title shot contention after the whole matchup with Chandler? What do you think about that?
No. I don't think he's gonna go fight for the title again. I mean, not in any time soon. You got Islam coming. Islam, they're not gonna keep ignoring Islam. If he beats Dariush, he's going to fight Oliveira. Justin Gaethje's kind of at a crossroads. I don't think he's overrated. I think he can beat a lot of lightweights. It's just the fact of Fiziev, like a guy like Fiziev's a good striker. So when he fights him, Fiziev can get fancy. Like it's not like boxing style like Chandler. I think his fighting style is going to get old, and I think people are going to start beating him up.
I agree. I think we lost Dustin there for a little bit, so we are going to move on to our next headline. Oh, there you are, Dustin. Okay, we got you.
Sorry. Basically, I think his fighting style is a little old, and it's getting a little repetitive, and I think fighters are going to start beating him up.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. I think he is. I personally think he's overrated. Like I said, I don't think he's as well rounded as people think he is. And so we're gonna move on to the next headline, which is another fight, which is a fight announcement for September 17th. We have Yinga Chicati versus Sadiq Yusuf. Really good fight, exciting. We had two exciting fighters in this featherweight belt, and it's the return of both of them. Sadiq
Mhm.
has tried to make his comeback. I think he's won his last few matches, and Giga just came back from a loss against Calvin Kattar, who's obviously we're both fans of. And I
Mhm.
personally think that he is. I think Giga's gonna win this match. Personally, I just think he's the better striker. But Sadiq is also a really good striker as well, and he's super fast. And so it's going to be an exciting match. What do you think about this matchup, Dustin?
It's a weird one for me. Giga, my jury is still out on Giga right now. Like
Mm.
he's a really good striker. Don't get me wrong, but to a certain point, like Calvin Kattar beat him. I mean, pretty good. Well, we'll see. I think when he was coming up through the ranks, he was looked at as a really dangerous striker because of what he was doing. But once he got up to a good guy, once he got up to a little bit more talented person, I mean, he kind of got he lost his step there. I mean, I'm excited to see if Giga's going to come back and get some momentum. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, Yusuf was a tough draw. I mean, I know Yusuf's been out for a while, but still, that's like fighting your carbon copy. You know, it's not fun fighting the same style fighter sometimes.
Mm.
Honestly, I'm gonna go out on a whim. I'm gonna say Yusuf wins this.
I kind of want Yusuf to win it just because I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of his, and I believe in his comeback. Giga, like I am really I'm on the fence with him too. Ever since he lost to Cater, it makes me question a lot of things about his fight style and really how good he is as a striker.
Mhm.
Because Calvin Cater, obviously one of the best boxers in the division in the UFC, but Sadiq Yusuf is also a really good striker and he's well rounded. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll see about that. That's going to be September 17th for people that don't know about this matchup. So we will move on to our next headline, which is the most exciting one, in my opinion, because I love me some lightweight division. And Charles Oliveira's manager, I believe, said something along the lines of he's going to have his next opponent released soon, and also the location will also be released, and I'm guessing when. So, who do we think that Oliveira is going to face next? We just talked about how stacked the lightweight division is. We have Islam versus Dariush. That's already a given. So I don't think he's going to be facing that. I know you brought up in the chat maybe a Connor match. Maybe a match against somebody else. I believe you brought up in the chat as well. So I'm gonna bring it over to you. Do you think it's gonna be a Connor match? Do you think it's gonna be a match against Volk? What do you think?
I don't know if I don't know if Volk is going to turn around that fast because Oliveira's pretty.
Yes.
He's not
Yeah.
a champion,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if Volk's going to turn around like that. I don't know if he's going to take that chance, especially against Oliveira. Um, I don't see the super fight happening. So if I was going to take a wild guess, I mean, dude, I just think the best is probably the counter fight. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not giving Chandler the shot anymore. You're not giving Poirier the shot anymore. You're not giving Gaethje the shot anymore. You're definitely not giving guys like RDA and like the lower lightweight, on the lower side of the top 10. This is Connor's like perfect little setup here to just jump the ladder and get that Conor McGregor privilege because he makes the company $1 billion. So, and again, it'll be a big, huge fight. Pay per view is going to go insane. So, either way, I think the Conor fight is the most realistic because I know he's a busy champion. So I think he was offered Conor.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I just think that division is like so compressed right now. There's so many matches going on. I don't think he's gonna face Dustin Poirier. The only reason why I don't think it's gonna be Conor is that Conor's been looking really swole lately. Like he looks like he can fight at 170. You
He
know,
does
in
look
his
pretty big.
yeah, that's the only thing that I would attest to, and that's the reason why I don't think it's gonna be Conor. Just because I think if Conor's gonna make like some type of comeback this year, he might go up to 170. Personally, he might go to 155. That's his like bread and butter, but you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
What I think is what's weird about Oliveira is Oliveira's close to cleaning out that division. Like if he beats Islam and he beats let's just say if they just said, fuck it and gave us a Dariush if he beat Islam, I mean he's close to clearing it out. I've never seen that. To be real, I've never seen that division almost clear except Khabib. I mean,
yes,
that's how
except Khabib. Yeah.
I haven't seen it since Khabib this division get cleared out like that. So it's gonna be if he can beat both those guys, that's gonna be a shitstorm. I mean, he's gonna end up having to go up or fight somebody.
No, I agree. Oliveira is amazing. I am a huge fan of his. I think that here's the thing. I don't think he beats Islam. Like if he gets to face Islam, I think that Islam's going to be his biggest test. Obviously, I think a lot of people probably agree with me on this. In that division, at least, because he's pretty much like you said, like almost cleaned out the entire division. I don't think Dariush is that good of a fighter to beat Oliveira. Personally, I think Oliveira is a smarter fighter in terms of fight IQ. He beats him as well as obviously ground.
He's got a perfect fighting body too. Like he's long, he has long arms, long legs, and he's just the right height. He's just the right size. I mean, he's got a good base.
No, he really does, and then obviously pair that with amazing jiu-jitsu, and then obviously more better than decent striking. His striking has gotten a lot better. It gets better every single time he fights. We've seen that obviously against someone like Michael Chandler, which was incredible. So we will see about that, but we are going to move on to our UFC Long Island preview now. It's not a bad card. It has some really good fights on that, but obviously we're all going to be talking about the main event, so we are going to get started. Now, the Lauren Murphy-Miesha Tate fight got moved to this card because it was supposed to be on the pay-per-view last, but it got moved. So, the slightly about between Laura Murphy and Miesha Tate. I guess I'll start first just because I personally think that Miesha Tate is not as good as she was before. I wasn't really a fan before. I don't think she's as good as what people think she is. Personally, I think Laura Murphy is the better fighter right now. So I'm probably going to choose Laura Murphy. What do you think, Dustin? Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I don't think Miesha Tate's what she's used to, like what she used to be, but I think she's probably a little bit better than Lauren Murphy. I mean, I could see her being slightly better.
She lost recently too, I believe. Her last fight. That's why I'm not as convinced. Personally,
Miesha Tate's not the old Miesha Tate. I mean, by any meaning of the no, not even close. When she was younger, she had epic fights with Ronda Rousey. Mm-hmm. She was probably one of the only girls who didn't get destroyed by it. It was a fight. So, I mean, Miesha Tate, I don't know what her thing is. I don't know what she thinks she's gonna do. But I don't think she's gonna go up and face Amanda Nunes. I don't think she's gonna go up and try to fight. I mean, even Juliana Pena. I think Pena could get Miesha Tate now. Mm-hmm. And she coached her on Tough.
Yes.
Lauren Murphy, I've had a bad taste about her since Tough because she came in and talked a bunch of shit all I trained with is dudes and all this shit. I was like, every girl in MMA has to spar dudes. I was like, they have no choice, especially back then because a lot of girls weren't into MMA, and so you had to fight guys. Yeah. And I was like, you're not the only one, and I was like, you're gonna step in the cage with a girl that's again fought guys just like you. And she annoyed me on the Ultimate Fighter. I've just had a bad taste in my mouth ever since. She cried all the time and shit. I was like, I can't handle that.
Yeah, to be
No,
honest, I had like a bad taste with like when it comes to both of them. So like in a way, I don't really care how this fight goes. But we're gonna move on to the flyweight belt between Matt Schnell and Sue Mutajiri. And when you have a name like Mutajiri at the end, I don't know what it is about fighters from the East Coast, but that is the person I'm picking for this fight. Personally, I like Matt Schnell. I really do. I think he's a really good fighter, but I just think that it's just like how you, Dustin, like you never really bet against the Russians. I don't bet against people from the East Coast as well. Gotta represent my people. So I think that Sue Mutajiri gets it done in this flyweight bout. What do you think, Dustin?
this is a tough one for me. I
Mm.
don't really know who to pick. This is like an even stand. This is a fight I'd never bet on. Like I would never even think about betting on because I don't have a definitive answer. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna take Matt Schnell.
Yeah, I mean, like he's a good fighter too, so you never know. But I just think that Sue has just the edge in this one, so we'll see how that goes. This one, I know the next one you probably have a definitive answer for the welterweight belt between Li Lang versus Muslim Sakagov. Sakagov, sorry, I have to pronounce that really good. I know you like a lot of the guys from Team Alpha Male. I know that Song Yadong is from there. I believe Li Lang trained with a few guys from Team Alpha Male as well. So I don't know if you're gonna be rooting for him. Personally, I like him. I like him as a fighter. Obviously, he got beat by Chimaev recently, so that was the thing. But Chimaev is Chimaev. He's a monster. He's a beast. So you can't really compare when it comes to that. But I think Li Jingling, I think he has incredible power and speed, and his striking is pretty good. So I think personally he gets it done, even though he's probably facing what looks to be a Russian. It looks like. So what do you think, Dustin? Who do you think's gonna win this fight? Are you gonna go with the Russians, or are you gonna side with the Chinese in this one?
Honestly, this is easy for me because I was never a big fan of Chang. I was never a big fan of his.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
never I never thought he was that good. I mean, he was in the rankings just to fill a spot. Like I was never impressed by the dude at all.
Hmm.
And Kazmat, you just threw him around like a rag doll.
He did, yeah.
I mean, not that he's not done that to other people. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I pick easily against him. I'm just gonna be completely honest. And it's funny. I did notice that about Team Alpha Male. They have a lot of Asian fighters.
They do.
I don't know what it is about Asian fighters in Team Alpha Male. It's like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a California thing. I mean, I have no clue. But it's interesting and how many Asian fighters kind of surface over there for some reason. Must have like a relationship with somebody.
Yeah, probably have connections, with someone over there. You're probably right about that. Speaking of people that are Asian and that are coming back, Michelle Waterson is coming back, and she's gonna face against Amanda Lemos, which is it's a fight that I'm actually looking forward to because I used to be a fan of the Karate Hottie, as most people were, and for good reason. She not only looks good, she can fight as well. But here's the thing, I think that Amanda Lemos might take the edge in this one just because Michelle Waterson, I think she's going to be susceptible to ring rust. She hasn't fought in well over 1.5 years. So, I think that she is probably going to feel. And also, it's just that whenever she fights, she doesn't look the same as she used to. She used to be on a tear. There's a time that the Karate Hottie train was going, and there's a lot of fans behind her. But it's just that recently, yeah, exactly, and it's just that recently, I just think that she hasn't looked the same. So I think Amanda Lemos is gonna win. She's on a roll right now, and she only has 2 losses as well. Pretty impressive record. What do you think, Dustin? Do you think Michelle Waterson can get it done, or do you think Amanda Lemos is probably gonna get this one?
Michelle Waterson, she always surprises me. Like her career is so awkward to me. Like I don't understand.
Yeah,
Because she's too talented not to be. She can in the UFC, she was supposed to be like in title contention. I mean, we're talking like she was supposed to be the big new thing. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe in her when it comes to beating top girls now, because I think she's getting a little bit older, and it kills me though. Watch her strike, it's elite. Like it's elite. Like the way she, like it's a very very good striking. I'll put it to that. That's like world class. So I don't understand why she's not more successful. I don't get it. I've watched her fights, and she kind of looks timid. I think she lacks a lot of aggression, to be completely
Mm.
honest. Maybe she's just not that type of person. I mean, I don't know. Like, but it's just the fact she is very nice, by the way. I mean, from what I've seen, a very nice person.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I don't think she takes it. I'm gonna be honest. I think she's. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I just think that I don't think she's washed, but I don't think she's like going to win this fight, if that makes sense. I think she's like a gatekeeper, in my opinion. Like yeah.
I don't think she's gonna be able to beat the like elite fighters in division. But I think she'll stay in the UFC. I mean, it's a karate hottie. She ain't going nowhere. Like, let's be real. Like she still brings in eyes. It is what
Oh,
it
for
is.
sure.
She does. Um, unfortunately for the UFC, she didn't get bigger. Because if she did, yeah, man, she would have blew up. So, but I mean, like I said, I don't believe in her against the top women anymore. I'm gonna be real. Like I think she'll lose this fight.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess we're on the same page when it comes to the karate hottie. Obviously, we're moving on to the main event, which is what I'm looking forward to the most. We have Yair Rodriguez coming back and facing T City Brian Ortega. Now, I used to be a Brian Ortega fan. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought his jiu-jitsu was amazing. He was on a roll. Obviously, we all saw it. We seen his submissions. We know what he can do. It's just that recently his fights, especially against Volk, it just made me like kind of reassess how I think about Brian Ortega. I just think he's lost some type of edge, that he used to have, or maybe it's just that he tries to strike too much and he doesn't try to take people down as much. I know his last fight against Volk, for some reason, he kept standing up and standing with Volk, and that wasn't a good idea at all. And he only probably tried to take him down once and try to submit him once or twice. So Yair Rodriguez, though, he's coming back. I like Yair Rodriguez. He's not like my favorite in that division, but he obviously is really good. He has some epic fights, obviously, against Korean Zombie. That was amazing. I think personally, Yair Rodriguez probably gets this one. I want to see the T City that came back, and started for some reason, like the T City that shaved his head and came back, renewed and like beat Korean Zombie. Like that's the T City I want to see, but I don't think we're gonna get that personally. What do you think, Dustin? Who do you think's gonna win this main event?
I still like Brian Ortega. I mean, honestly, when you look at the Volk, put in perspective of fighting Volk of how good Volk is,
Yeah.
and to a point, I don't blame him because he almost got Volk. People forget he almost had him, but Volk is a psycho. Like he does not let himself get finished. I don't know what it is, but Ortega had him. Like that submission was in, but somehow, some way, Volk popped his head up. I don't know, but he did. I don't know how. I've watched it like 5 times, and I was like, how the fuck did you do that? And I was like, I don't get it. But where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I think what my big thing about Ortega was why did he take off for so long? Like I was like, that was a little bit weird. I felt like I haven't seen him fight in forever. And I was like, I don't like when fighters take too long. Like it's weird for me. I don't get why you wait a year and a half. I mean, you should at least fight twice a year, if that. Twice every 6 months. I think that's fair. Um, like I said, I like his game. I like that he's not a bad striker. It's just the fact that he fought Max Holloway and Volkanovski. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody else he did pretty well, and Max Holloway is a better boxer. And Max Holloway in the slouch on the ground, so it's just for to fight him. But at the same time, I think he's good enough to beat Yair. The only thing I will say about when he fights Yair is do not stand for too long. Like, if I was him, I'd make that dirty because Yair Rodriguez can throw kicks, man. That dude can kick. He literally swell his foot up by throwing kicks.
Mhm. I agree with your points. What's called? I think
Too
that.
long. I would take just to the ground. And
Mhm.
that's just real.
Mhm.
Because Yair,
Yeah.
I think Yair kick him in his head.
Yeah. No, I can see that happening. For sure. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a really good bout. I'm really excited for next week's card. Obviously, we have reached the conclusion of our fights unwrapped this week, but next week's card is actually pretty good. We have Curtis Blaze versus Tom Aspinall, who's on a roll right now. I don't know if Darren Till is still fighting in that card against Jack Hermanson.
I can't wait. He's injured.
He's injured? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, and then we have Paddy Bimlet versus Jordan Levitt, which I am super duper excited about because Jordan Levitt is going to be Paddy Bimlet's literally his worst nightmare. It's going to be a really good fight. It's going to be his hardest opponent yet. Obviously, we have Alexander Gustafsson, we have Nikita Krylov, we have Molly McCain, Hannah Goldie, and Paul Craig is back against Volkan Ozdemir. So it's actually going to be a really good card. So tune in next week, guys, for our Fights Unwrapped because we are definitely going to be talking about this card and also about the other UFC headlines that are going to be coming up. So, and we have a show coming up. Do not miss Backstop Banter. It's going to start in 1 minute, guys. Okay, thank you, Dustin, for being on the show. And we will see you guys next week for Fights Unwrapped. Thank you, everybody. Have a good fight week.